Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the EndGame Syndicate sim show where myself, Davis Mattek, Dan, NerdyTenor, and Brian Hooper attempt to get in the mind of a computer and win Battle Royale, famously the Ramondre Stevenson show. Ramondre scored a touchdown last week, everyone. The haters were so sick watching Ramondre score the touchdown. Didn't end up in the winning lineup. I think, Dan, they continued to be directionally accurate. We have things going on later in the week, so we're doing an early week stream sim here. Dan, how did you set things up for the early, like what did you change in the process to set us up for a Tuesday?
Well, so as we all know, like a lot of the projection sources aren't really available yet. A few of them are, and they're not super tidy. So we did a few things here. First, I've got one build that is using the point projection listed in UnderDog. So, in UnderDog, it lists an ADP and a projection. I just used whatever that number said for experiment number one. Experiment number two, I looked at Cardi's initial stuff, so the blitz. It's just that. And then the third thing Brian can talk about, Brian had an idea to basically adapt ADP, turn it into a projection, and then run with that.
So that was you guys, Brian. You were mentioning this in our chat with the three of us about you had an idea on how to draft early. Can you expound upon this idea?
Oh, not really.
Just is what it is.
Proprietary data and information. No, yeah, I just kind of came up with a little formula for guessing. His system's based on projection, so we need to convert the ADP to some sort of projection that his sim can use. So that's what I did, and my guess is you're going to like it a lot more. And we'll see if I'm right. My guess is it's not as good, but you'll like it a lot more. If that makes any sense. Well,
so you're still team. We should be taking Ramondre Stevenson, even if the BR knowers think they're laughing at us. They're laughing at us.
No, I think we should be using whatever the best thing is. We just don't know what it is.
We just don't know.
We don't
sure.
know if like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to comment on that whole thing, like part of it is just like how many projection sources are you reliant on, and how are you combining them? Like a lot of those kinds of things you would expect to happen less often the more sort of wisdom of the crowds that you get. So the more projection sources are added. On the other hand, like the whole point is to do things the field isn't doing, right? That's where we profit. We don't want our stuff to look exactly like the field. Then there's no edge, right? So it's sort of balancing, like, how seriously do you take these sort of outlier computer results? Like sometimes it's a good thing and you found something valuable, and then sometimes it's just something wrong with your process, right? So figuring out the difference is part of the challenge if you're doing stuff like Brian and I are doing. Yeah.
How much value is there in ADP? I have a feeling there's quite a bit. How to extract
but maybe not so much on a Tuesday, right?
No, but yes, yeah, of course. But what I used was final Sunday data, so it would be so it was as accurate as you can get if you assume Sunday's numbers are the most accurate based on that. But yeah, so like if I don't know, Demarcus Robinson or somebody, I don't know if the Rams are even on the slate, is going to be, maybe he's going to be really high by the end of the week or something.
No, I think that's you might know ball. You might secretly know ball, because that game is theoretically a game that kind of projects well for fantasy scoring, but outside of Kyren Williams, no one is being selected from the Rams side of the game. So we have 5 different iterations of Dan Sims. We have the prime time with the UD projection. We have the prime time with Cardi's projection. We've got main with the underdog projection, main with Cardi, and main with the Brian experiment. So let's do the 3 iterations first
Okay.
of the main, and we
Let's
will
start with underdog, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Let
Yeah.
me bring that one up. Make sure I'm looking
All
at
right.
the right thing.
So I have already done 26 of these.
Wow. Beating the curve.
I will say it is a little bit more difficult than last week because last week was so obvious what the right thing to do was, which was just take Cooper Kupp. Now, obviously, that didn't end up working out, but for the first 24 hours or so, you could take Cooper Kupp at any pick in the first round. I think the analog for that this week is Justin Jefferson. Now, the other thing this week, a bunch of injury spots to deal with. So we have Texans running back. We've got Kenneth Walker. Those are your Q spots. At wide receiver, we have Jefferson, St. Brown, who's not listed as questionable right now, but probably should be questionable.
Okay.
AJ Brown, who the broadcast last night said might not be playing, but we've not gotten any word from the team. Cowboys tight end. So there are just some more things up in the air than when we did this last week.
Yeah, and so we're going to have to do some overriding because it's not going to have that factored in. So we're going to have to make sure we're not just being stupid about it. Okay.
Well, I'm happy, obviously, as always, to override the computer when I think that the computer doesn't know ball.
Did the underdog rankings update a lot, you think, in the last 2 hours?
That's a good
question. Yes. A couple of things. Mason.
Dan, how much would it screw you up if I sent you a new CSV?
Well, just take a little time to run is all.
All right, we are on the clock.
You can send me a new one and run it. So they picked, who did they pick?
They picked Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay,
so I assume.
So it is saying CD so far.
All right.
Yeah.
That is a clear non-overrule spot. You guys can see from my rankings. I have Justin Jefferson ahead of all the running backs. I think he's pretty clearly the 102 this week. But obviously, CeeDee Lamb is the 101. So we have Brown, Lamb, Jefferson. I'm the thing I'm most interested in is how different are the selections between these three models that we're doing? Like what can we learn? What can we take away from that?
Yeah. I want to see what you think of like the overall structure kind of. I just sent you updated rankings.
Okay, I will after this draft I can get that and start that running on another thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the number one thing you guys will see is
I got to make this bigger so I can actually do this. Okay, there we go.
Here, you should be there. You go. You should be able to.
That's much better.
I'm zoomed in a little bit. You should be able to see more. I'm going to assume no chance will the model try and solve for the questionable tag players.
Well, I don't see why not.
We're up Jefferson, Nico, Alvin Kamara, Barkley, A-Chain, Mason, Gibbs, Devonta.
You want to get it accurate first, and then
so
back.
Running back. So Jonathan Taylor is appearing. AJ Brown is appearing. Joe Mixon is appearing. It likes AJ Brown the most right now.
All right, so we're gonna have to override that because I'm pretty certain that both Mixon and AJ Brown are not going to play.
Oh, okay.
So we are about to be back up. We selected Jonathan Taylor, so we have CeeDee Lamb and Jonathan Taylor.
Alrighty.
Yeah, see, AJ Brown would not be picked in the bric 75 version.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I can already tell you that. Amon would, because he's not queued up.
His ADP is his ADP hasn't changed.
Yeah. Okay, went Harrison, Tyreek.
My preference would be to take Trey McBride. I'm wondering what the computer
Oh wow,
says.
this is interesting. It's saying Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, but you said Brown is likely not going to play, so that whole thing might be suspect. Then it's got Connor and Jackson next, and then a few more Lamar, and then a few more.
Oh, Lamar. Okay. Well, I did not adjust quickly enough, so we have Trey McBride.
Yep.
Hurts
Okay,
is
so
pretty
that's
highly
interesting.
ranked this week. So
Hurts is still good. Hurts is still good.
It finished with Hurts on top at that spot.
Where did it have the tight ends? Were the
It
tight
had
ends
it had tight ends. It had a couple quarterbacks, a few running backs, and then tight ends. So tight ends started like 6 or 7 down the list. But it's really the magnitude of the difference I'd like to look at more. It didn't get to run very long, so
Okay. All right. Hurts goes, Bowers goes, Devontae Adams goes, Mike Evans goes,
Evans.
George Kittle. Through the 26 I've done, a lot of my builds have looked exactly like this. Wide receiver, high projected running back, and then one of Trey McBride, Bowers, or Kittle. That's kind of been my preferred way to build them because I think there's a pretty big drop off at tight end this week. Ayuk is a pretty good click, I think, early in the week. That's one where I bet Ayuk ends up being very popular by the time we get to Friday on these, and he's not going as high right now. Laporta goes. So
David,
we are up in
Davis,
one
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, do your pick and then I'll. Well, we got time. What? Okay, go do your pick.
Derrick Henry goes. Okay, so now it's saying
Kyler is definitely my preferred with McBride. What does it want me to do?
Wow, this is weird. So it's got Lamar and running backs up top, ignoring AJ Brown for the moment.
Makes sense that it wants Lamar.
Yeah. Kyler, where does
I'll do Lamar. I'll do Lamar.
Right, we'll try it. See what happens. And I predict it's going to want another running back when it comes back to you, but we'll see.
Well, if it does want a running back, I'm going to overrule it and let us tell me a running back in round 6 because
you don't want to get poached.
Well, I think if I could have a conversation with your computer, if we could just kind of go mono a mono, I would explain to it that your winning probability with Lamar is greater when he's bringing along one of his pass catchers.
Right.
It probably means we got like a super nuke Lamar game,
right,
where he goes for like 35, and in those games he's likely to bring along Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers is listed. It just wants a running back first.
Okay.
But I this could be one of those things where if you're worried someone's going to take him,
So I actually would like to say that I probably was wrong there to align with the Sims, because I think something the Sim is going to highlight this week is that there actually is like a pretty legitimate drop off at running back in a way that there has not been the last 2 weeks that we did these. Like if you think about it just in terms of like DFS, like on DraftKings, like Josh Jacobs will be a play on DraftKings. People really will not be playing Kyren Williams, J.K. Dobbins, Tony Pollard, or any of these guys. So there's a pretty big split there.
So looking at that pick, it had a bunch of running backs and then Zay Flowers.
Okay,
so
sure.
It clearly likes Zay Flowers. It just thought you shouldn't bother taking it then. But as we talked about in other streams, like it's assuming things about how likely it is other people are to take certain things. So it may be assuming that it's unlikely anyone will take him. And that may or may not
be true.
It might be true. It might not be true. So
yeah,
that would be a reason to override it, because we had that with one of the drafts last time.
Yeah. So all right, Monday morning when these come out, what is the ranking? What is the ADP? I mean,
they do an ADP contest that opens on Sunday night called the Playbook. It's like a $10,000 prize pool with 1K to first, and the true sickos draft those, and it ports that ADP over.
Okay, so very interesting way of doing it.
All right, Rashad White, Chris Olave, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Andrews, Goff, Schultz.
No, it's just oh, that's interesting. Actually, it's got a mix. It's got Mixon up there. It's also got DK Metcalf, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams. Oh, DK just dropped off a bit. I think it wants you to take a running back here.
All right, let's do Josh Jacobs. Now, there's like no scrolling in this draft we just did. They all those guys, basically did just go at ADP.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be curious. I mean, how much is your stuff weighting that? Does it care at all about that stuff?
Wait, can you say that again?
So the team that we just drafted just had every player we just took is going to be drafted, maybe not 100% with
Right.
Jacobs, but let's call it 90% of drafts, which means they're all going to be 14% owned. Some of them 16, all of them other than Jacobs, 16% owned, really.
Yeah.
Does your stuff care about that at all? About the lack of scrolling down?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's because it's building a field, right? It's building a field of drafts. And so not everything is drafted 100% of the time in that field. So if it's working right, it absolutely cares about those things. Just looking at your draft, just for people tuning in, we used the underdog projection numbers and assumed those were right for this one. So you did really well because despite drafting third, you had the highest total projection of anybody in there, except
we got Lamb
for the first guy, I think.
We got Lamb, which normally you're not able to get there. Normally Lamb goes first.
Oh no, I'm wrong. You got third actually overall. So, but you still did very well.
What was his EV?
It thinks it was about $10.
Ooh.
Hey, all right. Live track. I need to get a live tracker on the screen of how much EV I've either lost or gained over the course of doing these. Okay. So that was with the UD projections.
Right. So I think now, since Brian has some more up-to-date ADP based projections, I think I will mute and get those downloaded and running and then rejoin the stream in a minute.
Okay. All right.
So it'll take me a couple minutes to set that up.
That's fine. All right, Brian,
I will kill this UD based one for now.
Okay. All right, Brian, then let's just draft this one from the balls. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Just straight ball knowing. We get the third pick again. And let's do.
You think St. Brown is questionable, like really questionable?
So he left the last game with an MCL strain. The nerves, lower leg will be good and has a soft tissue injury. St. Brown was forced out. Yada yada. My take is that even if he isn't injured, I just like Justin Jefferson better, anyways. And his injury is the same. The same thing, where I think it's probably going to be fine, and I just think Justin Jefferson's better. And I also you probably are not as on board with this as a strategy, but because it's $750 a week to max this. Like I want to be making some big bets. I want to be doing like 0% of a first round guy, 20% of another first round guy. Not to say I won't take any St. Brown, but I also think St. Brown's projection is the market is not caught up to the new reality for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jameson Williams is worse for him than any situation that Jefferson is in. And it doesn't matter because Brown's going to go here anyway.
For the record, though, I'm not opposed to you taking stands. I'm opposed to me taking stands. All right, there's a difference.
Sure.
Your job is to know ball. My job is not. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have Jefferson there.
He was hurt too, though.
He did. He got a quad contusion and left the game. But then same deal. The coach said he's fine. And look, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe St. Brown will be good to go and Jefferson will be hurt and I won't win any money this week.
That was totally a brutal week for the NFL, huh? Injury wise.
Yeah. Debo out, pretty brutal. CMC on the IR, pretty brutal. Cooper Kupp IR with the ankle. And
I mean,
scoring is way down.
Way down.
Scoring is way down. Passing touchdowns way down. ADOT way down. Is that impacting your stuff at all? Do you upload it? Like, does that data impact your Sims at all?
No, because I'm not making the projections anymore. So I just hopefully everyone else is accounting for it, which who knows if they are. I imagine they are kind of now.
Yeah. All right. My preferred pick here. My preferred pick is about to go. No. Okay. All right. We're gonna take Jordan Mason. 20 rushes again last week.
What was his ADP last week? What did it end up at?
So by Sunday, it got to if I remember correctly, he was the running back 6. So that means that he got up to be like a third rounder in the end. And I had like 25% of him or whatever last week because I was drafting on Monday and I was taking him in the 6th round on Monday. Weirdly, the guy I ended up the most with though was Zach Charbonnet after the swaps because I was taking Kenneth Walker too, so he got swapped out a ton, and Charbonnet ended up not getting there, which is unfortunate.
He was pretty close.
He needed to score again. I think he got 18, but yeah, he needed to score again and didn't quite get there.
For DFS, he was pretty close. For swapping out for Walker, maybe not.
No, because you were not winning without Kamara last week anyway.
Yeah, that was insane.
All right, so I think ADP is bad here. I actually think I think the 3rd round, I've just been taking a tight end like every time, which I mean, maybe that's bad or not, but I don't love taking, well, what do you want to do? You want to take a tight end? Or you want to take Hurts?
Hurts, since flip it up from last one we just did.
Okay, Hurts. Now the issue then becomes if Spartan or Outlaw Springle or Coop Joe decides to take Devonta Smith.
Which they shouldn't, but you're on stream, so they probably will.
Well, there's definitely an argument that Devonta Smith can get there without Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but if they don't have Hurts and Brown's still questionable, why would you take Smith right now?
Well, maybe Jalen Hurts doesn't run at all, doesn't end up being optimal, and Devonta Smith catches 14 passes.
I know, but they have like a ton of other options at this point in the week.
We just don't know, man.
All right, my stuff is building, so.
Okay. Well, you can build that, and
what are we doing next? Mine or
yours with the updated thing you sent me.
Okay. That's just gonna draft a beautiful team. I'm telling you right now, Davis is gonna love it.
But is it gonna draft the 100% owned team with no scrolls because it doesn't know ball?
No, it knows ball. It knows ball.
All right. Well, there you go. Devonta Smith.
There goes Smith.
So,
of course, I told you.
So, what do you think is better, to take Dallas Goedert, who I think is a shitty pick, or to just play it like a Jalen Hurts running game? I think it's got to be better to play it like a Hurts running game.
Yeah, probably. And then if Goddard falls for some reason,
I don't even want Goddard really.
In the last round.
No, I think his. I mean, look how much worse his. Obviously, these are shitty projections, but look at that difference in projection between Kittle and Goddard. Look how many points you're giving up.
All right.
10.2 to 7.3. I'm gonna take Kittle. And I actually with Debo out, last week I was avoiding Mason and his teammates together. I am not avoiding Mason and Ayuk or Mason and Kittle together. I mean, I'm not going to make a huge tenet of my strategy, but particularly Kittle and Mason, I think together seems fine this week.
Oh, right.
Either you have any sweats last week in the DFS streets? Anything fun?
No, nothing fun at all, man. Dan, did you get anything?
Nothing at football, but I won 2 baseball main slates.
Oh, did you?
In a week. Yeah, so that's pretty nice.
You gotta, Dan, you gotta turn marketing on, dude. You guys gotta start tweeting the screenshots from the EndGame Syndicate account.
Yeah, we probably should do a lot of that stuff. We don't.
Yeah, come on, dude. You can't have one YouTube stream a week with with me being your marketing budget.
Well, I mean, the big thing to tweet out is that I did 23 of the main battle royales, and I profited $3.
Wow.
So suck it, sim haters.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That's proof.
ROI.
That's proof.
Do you guys want me to teach you something that your precious little computer doesn't know? This is Stephon Diggs' first game back in Minnesota since they traded him.
Oh. Yeah.
How about that? How about that? You gotta give a +2. You gotta give a +2 in the projections for that. In my
That's
opinion.
right.
You just give him a little bump. All right, and then we are gonna take either Tony Pollard or David Montgomery as our final running back selection here. This slate is kind of beautiful in the sense that there are not really sick options down the board. Like last week, I was like, oh, the running back 14 is just a good play. Well, like this week, it's like the running back 10 is kind of a bad play, which makes the exercise a bit more fun. As of right now, I have no interest in taking AJB at the end here because I don't trust myself on the swapping thing at wide receiver the same way I do at running back. And yeah, there is like legitimately 0 cents that he plays, 0 chance, maybe like 1% chance he plays. So I think swapping at running back just seems easier than swapping at wide receiver. So I am not going to be doing that. All right, we are going to, I guess Montgomery went, so we're going to take Tony Pollard here, assuming that he doesn't go.
Mixon got banged up too, right?
Yes, Mixon has I can't remember if it's an ankle, but it's a lower body injury. All right. Tony Pollard, welcome to the team.
Remember Tony Pollard last year?
He's good again.
Mm.
Oh, true.
You're late.
Okay. JMC, that's a good point. It's your wide receiver 3, it's your flex. You can still swap it to running back. There you go. Okay. See, that's why I'm not any good at this yet. I'm still figuring it out. Okay. Dan, do we have it loaded? You don't manually swap. It pulls from your swap rankings.
It'll just run as long as it can run. So it's hopefully getting smarter and not stupider the long it goes. So it's close enough.
Is it ready?
Well, by ready, it's it's I can't run it too much longer anyway. So I would fire it off. While we're waiting for that to start, somebody asked a question I think I can address. I can find it. Oh, somebody just commented they think it's more important to model the best pick to take based on what's left or model what's best to take based on the combos. And I think ideally you're going to do both, right? You want to factor in both things. So that's what this code is trying to do that. The part that's really fragile about predicting around what's left is it's hard to know building from nothing, which is how this works. It just plays itself and tries to learn how likely it is certain players will be drafted when it's their turn before it comes back to you. So it's assuming they're doing things it thinks is smart, but you can't always assume that's actually going to happen, or that what it thinks is smart is actually smart. So it's yeah, but yes, the shorter answer is you want to do both of those things.
All right, let's hop in another.
Sweet.
And let's see. This is the updated Brian model, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Let me triple check that I'm running what I said I'm running.
Yeah, if we don't like it, I'm going to blame it on Dan not letting it cook long enough. Okay.
That's
if we
fair.
do like it, it's all my projections.
Okay. So I think this is true. Feels like taking anybody questionable with your last pick is more ideal early in the week. You're either getting an ADP discount or get to swap when you have most knowledge about the slate. Yes, but it's a definite risk that there isn't a good swap. There is no Charbonnet. There is no Jordan Mason. There is no whoever. Now, again, it's Tuesday. Lot of stuff is going to happen before we get to Tuesday. So I think I probably am being a coward.
Is swap like draft dependent? So like let's say CMC gets ruled out. Do you get Mason's your top guy? Do you get all your CMC swept out with Mason?
Except unless Mason's already been drafted in your
Unless it's
6-man draft.
Yeah, in that pod, right?
If Mason has already been drafted,
Okay.
In your pod, this is the other thing. You can't balance your range.
That's correct.
So do you want 60% of? I don't know. Theoretically, let's say I was doing this AJ Brown strategy, my swap would probably be Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably my favorite.
So
I want?
You're up. You're up at the moment.
Yeah,
it wants a running back.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're letting it.
Which
cook.
running back?
It's got tied at the moment. Barkley and Kamara.
All right, I took Barkley.
I like it.
There you go. Got a CMC for Kamara swap. I mean, how about that? Pretty nice. Pretty nice because Kamara was not 100% drafted last week. Being able to lock in a last pick and work towards that optimal build would be nice. Yeah, that's interesting. Here, let me pull up the draft board view.
Wait, thank you.
So if it wants me to start, I guess we're only doing like 10 or whatever of these, so it's fine. I will say starting a running back every single time when Justin Jefferson is first round pick is a bad strategy and would not behoove you to build a winning portfolio in the opinion of this court jester. I think it would be very bad to take Barkley, Kamara, or A-Chain over Jefferson and Nico in the first round every time, in my opinion. Okay.
Davis, you told me I need to market more, so I'm putting the EndGame Syndicate YouTube link in chat.
Yes. Guys, subscribe to the EndGame Syndicate YouTube channel. Subscribe to Brian's YouTube channel. AJ Brown went early in this one, so I guess we have an auto drafter, maybe? Unclear.
Huh. So I guess who's popping now is Jalen Hurts.
Can I overrule this?
You can. And it's got Marvin Harrison. Very close. And now Marvin Harrison is winning.
Okay.
It wants Marvin Harrison.
Barkley. What is the path for Barkley and Hurts winning together? They score 65 points together as a team.
65,000.
All right. We took Marvin Harrison. This guy here at the turn can do whatever he wants.
Pretty sure Hurts threw a touchdown to Barkley in week 1. Davis.
He did. Wow. Secret ball knowing from Brian.
Go ahead.
No, it wants
we got 10 seconds. Let it cut.
Another running back. Yeah, it wants another running back.
Who's it want?
It wants Taylor at the moment.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Taylor or Gibbs or Henry.
Are popping right now.
Let's do Gibbs because it correlates. Gibbs and Harrison correlate. Let's do Gibbs, which I don't even know. I've been thinking about this. Most of what I think about these days is what am I doing wrong in Battle Royale now, and how can I get better at it? And I've just gone back and forth on if the sizing of the contest at 67,000 entries is big enough that getting 90th percentile outcomes don't matter. When all you really want 95th, 96th, 99th percentile. Because I think as we all, or me as an 80 IQ person knows, game stacking and mini game stacking and correlating really helps you get 80th percentile outcomes, but doesn't help you get the nuts. Doesn't help you get the highest scoring player at every position. So it's a bit different.
Yeah. You see this effect in other sports.
Saquon Barkley had 11 fantasy points yesterday. So no, that is not true.
Can you scroll down a bit? Thank you very much.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Plus, you didn't even want to take Barkley.
No, I really. Ryan is half right. He's definitely wrong that they both had good games, but he is right that I am biased against Saquon Barkley. That is true. So he's half right.
If I was trying to do that, I would just bump up like Chiefs players. Are the Chiefs on this slate?
No,
they're at the Sunday night game.
I had good teams last week, even with the Chiefs kind of sucking because I was big on Marvin Harrison.
Somebody took Kyler Murray already.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
So now it's saying, okay, saying Brock Bowers at the moment. Devontae
Yes.
Adams, it's saying. CJ
Bowers.
Stroud. Adams, Stroud, Bowers at the top.
So if we take Stroud, I'm going to have to overrule it later. What do you want to do?
What's its number one?
None of the above. Sorry, it just changed again. All right, Bowers is fine.
What did it end at?
It liked Devontae Adams for some reason.
Because he has a high ADP.
He has a high ADP there, and Adams went next. Interesting.
Adams was a good pick. I would have been fine. I would have been fine.
Okay.
So I was hesitant to click Stroud because we're back up. I don't know explain why I was hesitant to click
now
Stroud.
It's saying, oh, interesting. It wants a receiver here.
Give it a second.
It's got oh, now Stroud is popping again. It's got Stroud and then some receivers.
All right, we'll do Stroud, but it's gonna want me to not take if I'm right, it's gonna not want to take Stephon Diggs or Tank Dell with our next pick, and I'm gonna overrule that.
We'll see what happens.
Dan, what about functionality wise, running the pick a pick or two early, and then ranking them and then removing.
Yeah, I had a similar thought where you could like do some pre-computation like that in line because it's kind of slow. I mean, it's trying so hard. It's working so hard to figure out what to do.
How many did I overrule? I didn't overrule any here other than.
You didn't overrule any.
I didn't overrule any.
I mean, I'm listing some stuff that is roughly near the top.
Yeah, because we had Gibbs and who was the other? Taylor is even, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm curious if it does put Nico and Dell or Diggs and Dell in at the top, or if it doesn't care about the correlation.
Oh, it'll care. The question, I have to look again and see if it'll look that far down. It always includes at least one option that correlates with your quarterback. I force that in, no matter how poorly projected it is.
I personally
might not get you both of them, depending on how far down the second one is, if that makes sense.
I personally believe double stacking is not super ideal in these contests, but I also haven't won yet, so maybe listen to. I believe Crutches has won one of these, and he said he's won with Hill and A-Chain together. I tend to think in a contest where you want to pick the nuts, like you literally just want the literal highest scoring players, like number 1 and number 2 at the position, you probably want to avoid it.
Yeah, it's really hard to know where that cutoff is because. Okay, let's see what it's saying. Oh, Stephon Diggs is number 1 at the moment.
All right, so you told the computer it's his first game back against the Vikings that's getting traded?
Nope, it's got a lot of options it likes actually here, but Diggs is winning by a little bit. So it knows about the correlation.
All right, twist my arm.
All right, Davis.
Godwin ended up winning, but Diggs was
too late.
close. It was like it was within 2%. It was very close.
I would have rejected that. Okay.
Yeah, me too,
I'm very curious. I think this is a good team. I
told you.
I'm going to let it run a little longer now that the draft is over. I'm just going to let that pick cook for longer and see what actually is.
I knew that would work, and he would like it. I'm telling you,
that
Dan,
was a good team.
Not only that, I bet 80% of the people you like would want that sort of structure, that sort of tie to ADP. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I bet that's what everyone wants.
It's got Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell as the top 2. No,
so it does. So what you're telling me is that it does know ball.
It knows more ball than I do, but that's not a very high bar.
If you put the no ball numbers in it, and then it's going to give you no ball results.
Yeah.
Okay. True. Yeah. Okay. That was the UD projection.
Let's do one more with my projections, just to see if it's not a fluke. and if Davis likes the team again.
There needs to be so this is the next thing that we need to do. Well, not that we, trust me, I'm not doing shit. There needs to be some kind of analysis of what product ownership is optimal, Dan, if that makes sense. And to factor that into who you should take with your selections. Like, oh, this is too, well, shit. This comes into me not knowing enough about, I don't know enough computer. I don't know enough code. Because that's content. It's going to be slate dependent. What product own you want? Like there's no rule of, oh, you need to scroll down here but not here.
Right.
But these teams we're drafting are fairly chalky in terms of their product own.
Yeah. So it's an open question for me how much to care about that versus caring about getting different in your combinatorics, right? I don't have an answer there.
I don't have an answer either. But I do think I guess my excuse for myself this week is I'm not really scrolling down that much, particularly at running back, because I don't like those names. And so the excuse I'm giving myself is, well, I'm getting some good combinatorics elsewhere, so it's fine, which like it probably isn't, but I'm just telling myself
I
that.
think that might be right, actually. But I don't know. When we did a lot of experiments for some of the videos on Endgame, we found that there were like, at least for my eye, there were just a lot more players that were drafted 100% of the time than I would have expected. And I think it's because it could get different in the combinations without too much difficulty. Anyway, let me see what it's saying.
Yeah, we're up.
It's saying Barkley.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's significantly higher than Kamara.
Not in the UD projection, brother. Kamara, one more point.
Well, this is the Brian brain.
The Brian brain, okay.
Yeah, you need good reason to pass up three spots of ADP, Davis. But what we should have we should have, I've been saying this for like 2 weeks, but we should have ownership projections today or tomorrow.
People don't have the draft caddy already, brother. What are they doing? What about where's the work on the team where you where's the work when you what's the progress on pasting your best ball team in and it gives you a letter grade back? Where are we at on that?
Well, first we have to get all these ducks in a row before we can do complicated stuff like that. And then it's whether we want to do it on a side project or through whatever Dan's doing too, because there's 2 ways to do it. There's 2 ways to do it. We could definitely do it though. We could definitely do it.
I want EndGame Syndicate to succeed. It doesn't impact my bottom line, but it's good business. All right, we are up in 1 pick. St. Brown, Kamara, Mason, Taylor, Nico.
Yep.
Go.
Ready to fire.
It's gonna want Tyreek.
Yeah, it'll want Tyreek.
Let's run it.
I probably, of my own volition, will not click him very often this week, so I'm fine with this.
So far, Gibbs and Hill, very close. Very, very close.
You got 10 seconds.
Tyreek is winning, and then it's Harrison. Tyreek, Harrison are the top 2.
All right, Tyreek, welcome to the team. I pretty greatly prefer his teammate A-Chain over him. Like in my rankings when I'm doing it this week, I'll take A-Chain over Hill every time. So I'm fine. It's good for me. It's good for me to do these simmed ones where I'm drafting weird shit with you guys because I won't build a ton like this on my own.
Mm-hmm. What's going to be really? Go ahead, Brian.
The no ball brain, Dan, it's hard to wrap your head around these people, right? So like you give them Ramondre Stevenson and their brain just cracks. You got to give them You got to give him the ADP bros stuff.
I understood what we were doing with Ramondre because he's going off Cardi's projections, and Ramondre was his 4th highest projected running back. Don't put me in that category, Brian.
I don't think you were too happy. You overrid it like 80% of the time.
Because I didn't want Ramondre on every team.
It's just the difference. I mean,
all right, shit. It's gonna want Hurts.
That's correct.
And I'm not doing Hurts.
But it's next up. It likes Devontae. It likes Hurts and Devontae the most right now.
How close are they?
Hurts, they're literally tied at this second.
There you go. You can take Adams.
Yeah.
If Hurts and Barkley together are what you need to win this week, I will simply put my hand up and let the haters beat me. That is totally fine. Not every week has to be for me, Brian.
Couldn't you get Smith too on the comeback? Still?
Yeah, that's worse. Adding a third Eagle is worse.
That's free money.
No, it is definitely not free money. That is well, it's free money for your opponents. You are giving your entry fees to your opponents.
You gotta get your into the mind of the no baller, Dan. It's very difficult. Okay, you have to forget everything you've ever learned. Okay.
It really is so funny how different we approach these games. It's like you guys couldn't see what I see in a million years, and I can't see what you see at all. It's so funny.
No, so far this team is not a team you'd hate.
No, this is a good team. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I hate it because I would have. I want McBride and Bowers on all my teams, and
but once you get your tool to like a spot like this, you got to kind of trust it and do what it says eventually.
Sure.
Okay, there goes Kyler.
It's gonna want Stroud, I predict.
Oh, what the hell? So it's saying Kittle and Laporta.
Sure.
Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the next 2 guys, yeah, I think it's fine. Kittle, it likes better.
Wow, dude, it knows ball. Brian, you have created a model that knows ball, man.
I knew you would like it. I knew it.
It's interesting though. I'm a little surprised, given that the next 2 players both have tight ends, that it did that. Because it's like does it really have to defend against double tight end? I mean, I don't know. Probably could have run longer, to be honest, and then it would have gone something else.
All right. What is it going to want?
I missed something. Oh, James. Shit, I typed it in wrong. You might have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yep, sorry. Shit.
That's fine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Brock Purdy with our tight end.
All right.
It's fine. We could see what it would have said.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you can fix it. If you can't fix it, it's fine.
Yeah, I can get you there. Just let me see. Okay, so sorry about that.
Did you tag the ASMR in the notes, Davis?
Oh no! What a failure! That'll really bring my YouTube channel to just all of us collectively. We'll go so far up.
It's almost as big as putting naked yoga in your title. That will double your views. Very short views. They don't stay for long.
But you get them. Yeah, I took Purdy to match with Kittle. I don't even know. Yeah. I just
that's one of those where like I think that's probably sharp. Like it wasn't going to do that because it wasn't worried about it being taken. But
I don't care about if no one needs a quarterback to my right because I'm scrolling with my last click anyway. So
right,
I care?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I get it. Mike Evans goes.
My preference would be for a Lion, just based on that game. But
is that the biggest spread this week, Davis? Total
highest total. Yeah, Taysom is listed as a tight end this week, but he's got a chest injury. Okay, we are on the clock.
Jonnu Smith went. Okay.
Yes.
So it's got a pretty good mix of things. It's got
Is it like
Kyron.
Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard is like 9th in the list. That's
Who's top?
Kyron Williams. It's got
Done.
DK Metcalf up there.
Ooh, DK would have been another good one.
I like both of those.
I think sadly, Brian, I think you did in fact. Obviously, like I'm being a little bit facetious. Like I know you didn't solve the game, but if you were to give this tool to an unpaid intern and tell them to draft till their eyes bleed every single day in all the contests on here, I bet you'd draft some winners. I bet you'd get some shippers with this.
Yeah, you just gotta get
It might be
in
close.
the mind of the no baller. Damn.
All right, which sim do we want to run next? Are we doing the Cardi stuff next?
Yeah, let's see what Cardi. Let's
Okay,
see how high some of these players.
I should probably re-download Cardi. Let me see if it's changed since I.
All right, Brian, you do like a 45-second EndGame Syndicate advertisement while Dan does this, and I go pee.
Good call. Let me pop this this link in chat, guys. We're trying to get subs for our EndGame. Adam is doing a bunch of content over there. We do some content occasionally. We also do roundtables every month where we do the first half an hour, 45 minutes or so on our YouTube channel before we go to the paywall. People seem to like those. We got a couple thousand views last time. So do us a favor, sub over there, and check out endgamesyndicate.com. Do I really need to? I'll put that in chat too, but I think as long as you can spell, I think we require you to be able to read to sub here, but I'll put it in anyways.
Here's the oh, I don't think I meant to enter because Dan is not ready yet, but I just did it. I just did that like automatically, like my
Oops.
my so we might I guess we're just knowing ball here again. All right, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, me drafting is just the same as the ball knowing projection or the ball knowing model.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess now. I'm gonna make my second prediction that you will be overruling the Cardi picks.
Well, the Cardi picks on a Tuesday are going to be untethered from reality. They're so a Tuesday.
That's fair.
The Tuesday projection for Cardi is, I said this on the last show, it's just rolling over last week's market shares and everything into the automated data that he has for this week. He hasn't futzed with anything yet, really.
So what's my prediction is if we do exactly what it says, it's going to say we have like $25 in EV, but actually we have like $1.45.
Correct.
Right.
So we can test it, but yeah. I'm not going to be beholden to it.
Fair enough. It's cooking. It should be cooked enough by the end of this draft.
All right. It should be.
With all jokes aside, I do feel like, Dan, tell me if I'm probably wrong here, but I feel like there's something to kind of what's it called? Like taking away the bias of someone's projection source.
Yeah, it's a sort of
absolutely.
dealing with outliers, especially. But it's tricky because like you have to make like a philosophical decision. Like, do you want like wisdom of the crowds from all your sources, or do you think somebody's adding real edge, real alpha with their outlier projections?
Yeah.
Right. So you kind of have to make a choice. Since I don't know enough to know, I just usually try to keep adding sources in a way that's pretty intelligent. And in a game like this, like the edge that my tool is going to get is going to be around things like game theory stuff. Like, oh, I see that, all of these things have been taken and the curve isn't that steep anymore for running backs. So I'm just going to stop taking them. And then I'm going to load up in this thing and I can see that this guy coming up is going to really want this attractive option. So I better take it first, or the reverse. Like he clearly needs to take these things next, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll go somewhere else. Those are the kinds of things I would expect.
That's what I'm trying to take away from it. And even the Ramondre thing was pretty obvious what it was getting at. It was getting at the running back. There actually was like an elite tier of running back that went like 10 deep in week 2. There's a lot of running backs that were projected very well. The field was being overconfident, and the top end, when it was really only like 2 points that separated them. So like you didn't need to take Ramondre every time, although Battle Royale is small enough and it's insular enough, and there's so like we actually did, I think, move Ramondre's ADP. Like when we started doing that show last week, he didn't get drafted hardly at all. He was the running back 14, and by Friday afternoon he was the running back 12 and was going like I got sniped on him a couple times, which is pretty funny if you think about it.
Well, I started to not take him and then sort of bank him as a late pick, like opportunistically. I'm like, it's a very good chance I can get him in the 5th round. So I would load up on other things early. And it worked like half the time for me when I did that.
But I think the argument is even stronger then, based on what you just said, that the tool's strong suit is pointing out the combinatorics and stuff like that, and all these. Well, then why introduce the ETR Cardi bias at all?
Because they know ball.
Well, if the alpha is there,
it is. Particularly, by the way, if you were to, I think, as we evidenced with the Ramondre thing last week, if you draft off of Cardi's stuff, Cardi, relatively speaking, is going to be so much more off market than every other projection source, so much more so than ETR, so much more so than rotogrinders, wherever, because Cardi does his data in a fundamentally different way than everyone else does. That weeks where Cardi's right, you're going to have some weirdo shit, but your teams are going to be really plus EV. Well,
then why do you overrule it every time?
Because I know ball, dude. And the serious answer is, one, portfolio reasons, and then 2, like I don't want 100% of Ramondre in the 2nd round because I can get him in the 6th round.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a good one though. That's a good reason.
That's a
very good reason to not take him in the 2nd round when you can get him in the 6th.
So then the other layer on top of that is that, well, one, this is also kind of partly true, is that in the modern world, being off market means you are wrong. I don't agree with that 100%, but I think there's truth to that. Then the other thing is, I'm also my own person. I have my own opinions on who is going to do well and do poorly in NFL football games that are played on Sunday, and I want to put money behind those opinions.
Right. And if that's true, if being off market just means you're wrong, then we can't beat these games, right? So I believe these games are likely very beatable. Whether they're beatable after rake is probably a little more of an open question, but there is definitely you can beat the field in these games. And part of that is them being off market. Part of it.
Sure. But you could also beat it by following market. So I don't think it necessarily means
because it's a game of combos.
Well, not only that, because your opponents make mistakes.
Right.
And they'll take Ramondre Stevenson in the 2nd round when they can get him in the 6th.
Right. Yeah, you could just play. Yeah, it depends how you use the term, following the market there. But I agree with what you said.
I don't know. I feel like you can also like do this halfway, where you use ADP also, and then add in a little Cardi, add in a little ETR or whatever. But the more you introduce those things, the more the tool will tell you, okay, instead of the 2nd round, the 3rd round, maybe the 4th round, because we really, really like Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah. So are we cooked?
We're good enough. Dan? Yep.
Okay.
So we're going Cardi, and it did update half an hour ago. I don't know what got updated, but
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Derek has changed his process, and maybe yeah, maybe he has cooked the projections a little bit more.
Did you change any of the code this week, Dan, since last show?
I can't remember when I did stuff. I've been working on 3 different projects, so
Right. Yeah.
I can look at the logs, I guess.
No.
Incredibly good back-to-back comments here. If you can lose on purpose, it's a game of skill.
Yeah,
Crutches says it's beatable. James Young says just try watching football instead of all of this. Then Easy says you can beat it because maybe 10% of the field uses the projections and game theory plus roster construction, which is an incredible sequence right there.
TMS is DraftKings lawyer, by the way. He fought to legalize best ball or DFS for us. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think it's obviously a skill game. You can obviously beat the field. I strongly suggest that you can beat the rake for most of these contests too. I can't prove that, but I would be surprised if that were not the case. Especially at this level.
He's not the lawyer, by the way. I was joking, but it does like if the rake was 90%.
No, yeah,
you can't beat it, right? So, like, even though you could lose on purpose, it's not skill games. It's not entirely accurate, but
the fact that the rake is relatively low, it takes time to enter, and the stakes are for the most part pretty low. Makes me think.
Can I just override?
It wants to say take JJ right now.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He automatically wanted to override Cardi.
You can't override it when it agrees with you.
I can't override it. I can't override it when it agrees with me.
5% rake with the rake back. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You should be able to beat.
Yeah. I just want to hedge. I'm always hesitant to make claims about profitability without having like really strong data. But yeah, I would be shocked if it were not.
There you go. So 30 minutes ago, the blitz projections just dropped. So these will be. What I was saying earlier is wrong.
It was probably wrong an hour ago. Right. It was correct an hour ago.
It was correct an hour ago. Yeah.
Right.
Cardi has obviously not fully cooked, but Cardi has put some basil in these projections.
I'm still feeling some overrides coming.
The meta is just to get in these drafts with me and then take whoever Nerdy suggests after Davis inevitably override. I want on the record some of my I know ball takes last week giga smashed, including Marvin Harrison Jr., who's on all my best lineups. I want it on the record. I had some good teams last week. Dan, we are up. A-Chain, Nico,
Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, the most.
Let it cook.
It's very close. Taylor, Hill, and then Lamar. It's got Taylor slightly ahead of Hill. Very close.
Sure.
Pennies. Now Hill is winning. It's very close.
Oh no! All right. Well,
no, it was literally pennies. Pennies different.
Pennies. Oh yeah. I need to remember to continue asking my EV in these.
Yeah, so the earlier in the process, the more of a guesstimate it is, but it already thinks you're doing very well.
God, the last one he didn't type in because you were doing it by yourself.
That's right.
So,
well, and obviously my draft's on my own. I mean, is there anyone better? Is there a better drafter in the land? Hard to say, but I think not.
I'd like to see the EV.
I'd love, actually, oh my God, this is something I would love, would be a post-contest sim of Battle Royale where you were able to input the 150 drafts you did, and it tells you post-contest sims what your lineups were worth.
Yeah, you could probably get reasonably close if you have the entire field available to download.
I thought that's what we were planning on doing anyways. What were you talking about?
No, I don't know what the plans are.
Not you, Davis.
Oh, Davis.
What did you want, Davis? Like, I thought the whole idea was to look at your.
No. I'm saying like the tool I had originally was basically just a gimmick, like basically just adding up like ADP value and projection and giving people a best ball draft grade, like something that is incredibly simple for someone with your guys' computer coding to know. not the very useful tool that I just suggested, which was post-contest sims to tell you how much your battle royale like portfolio is worth.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah, me too.
I thought you were joking.
You were
put out some trash product.
You have no business sense, man. You don't get the modern American consumer. All right, we are on the clock. Tyreek, Marv, Gibbs, and Hertz go in between.
Oh, it is loving life right now. So it likes Kyron Williams by a
overriding that, not because it's a bad pick, but because we can select him with our final
pick. It likes
pick.
Lamar next, and then after that, it likes McBride. That's its ordering, like with pretty big jumps. Kyron,
How many pennies did I give up taking McBride over Lamar?
like a couple bucks.
Golly, I thought that one was going to be closer. I thought that one was going to be.
But I wouldn't take that. Oh, I wouldn't take that number very seriously. There goes Lamar.
No, it's definitely. I think it is worth considering because this is to inject some football into this conversation. This is definitely a game where Lamar getting like literally like 40 points is in a non-crazy range of outcomes. Like I can really see it potentially happening.
Yeah. This is making me want to do some drafts now.
Seeing all these 200 pennies is a lot of pennies.
I
know. Yeah, Jefferson is dropping in some of them, but not in mine. Not when you're drafting with me, buddy. All right. Lamar, Stroud, Ayuk, Kittle, and James Conner go.
No, this is going to be... Okay, there's Devontae.
All right.
We
are up.
Tyler Williams. Yeah.
Overriding that again. Not not because it's wrong. This is the Ramondre thing all over again.
It likes running backs, 2 other running backs next.
What running backs?
Aaron Jones and Rashad.
No. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Oh, you're doing it?
I'm doing it. I
thought that was a huge difference for what it's worth.
I can't have I can't have the computer just reiterating how much of an idiot I am all the time. So we will take Kyron. We're not happy about it, but we are.
Who did you want there?
Kyler Murray with Trent.
Yeah, I get it.
Didn't we get
Kyler's
Kyler?
Probably going to go, but it did not really love Kyler there. Interestingly, it just didn't think it was worth passing up.
I like that second team's looking pretty good. Hill in the second round and Hurts Smith. Oh, he did the Barkley. He did. Yeah, he did. He did the team I wanted.
Yeah, he doesn't know ball, and that's sad. But
that might be a little too similar combos. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
See, that could be another thing, Davis, that the tools take into account that you might not notice is like, hey, this guy that you want to take is going to be in a lot of combos in the other drafts.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's definitely possible.
I don't know how compelling that is, but
okay. Will it consider quarterbacks at all? Wow.
Well, it honestly probably shouldn't because we're probably just going to take Sam Darnold.
It's saying Sam Darnold at the top, but like, what's the chance? It's close between that and receivers. So receivers, it has DJ Moore, Chris Godwin as its top 2 right now.
DJ Moore.
And then quarterback, it has Darnold and then Richardson. Those 4 are all pretty close. It also has Pittman there, a little bit behind.
Of course, Cardi's stuff is going to have Pittman.
Yeah. So
the waiver wire stuff is going to be late today. It's probably going to be like 3:30 or 4 o'clock this afternoon on the Patreon, sir. Sometimes
it's going to love your
content
lineup.
Gets in the way.
You just crushed it. Yeah, because you got so much projection compared to what it thinks is typical. it's gonna like your lineup a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I have to do to get all this EV is to draft on naked Cardi projections on a Tuesday.
Okay, I went Purdy. So
This
I'm
is
just gonna advance to you because they all have their quarterbacks. That'll give us more runtime.
Yeah. I am curious if it tells us Darnold or Richardson.
So Darnold is winning. Okay, so this is absurd. It thinks you have like $40 of EV. It's like
I definitely
9 times above
definitely
average.
don't.
No.
Still waiting for that 30K. It's guaranteed first place.
30K
like
guaranteed.
ends the contest.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yep,
man.
it wants Darnold by a lot. And then
Okay.
Richardson next. Yeah.
All right, there we go. $40 worth of EV on a Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Trey McBride, Kyron Williams, Chris Godwin, Sam Darnold team. I mean, I don't see any way.
That was last week. It was doing that too. Who was that late round? Oh no, the Jordan Love on the 2-gamer. Love in the 6th.
So I spent a lot of time with these 2-gamers. I don't know if we want to run that next.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know which data source should we use. We could use what Underdog says, or we could use whatever Cardi has.
Sure.
Okay,
Primetime
let me
Palooza.
don't start it yet because I got to download the latest because he just updated it. So let me grab it real quick and then
Okay.
I'll get back because I can talk while I do this a little bit. What I found with these 2-gamers is it's so game theory-y that I will often get shunted into the same strategic cul-de-sac because so much of the field keeps making the same kind of mistake, according to what my stuff says, if that makes sense.
So
it's like the Ramondre Stevenson thing times 10, where it's like
one that does make sense. I think the fair concern I would have would be the Isaiah Likely thing happening again, where you could. How many sims would we have to run before we got to an Isaiah Likely 8-catch, 102-yard touchdown game? You know,
right?
A lot of sims. We'd have to. Spoiler alert: we'd have to run a lot of sims to get there. So that is slightly worrying to me. Not super worrying, but slightly worrying.
No, it is too. And at some point, if you keep getting the same combos, even in a 10K entry contest, like at some point you start to vulture your own EV.
You don't want to dupe yourself, bro. I mean
that's true too. That's the extreme version of that. I'm almost ready to start running it. Just gonna make sure it's working. Okay, it's working. Oh, it updated again like 5 minutes ago.
Wow. I think if I recall correctly, he pushes them out by team, so that would make sense.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna upload this bad boy here. So while I'm doing this, you might want to just look at the ranking page, the Underdog ranking page, just to see the structure of this draft.
Okay. Ranking.
So you want to do it by position. So make sure you got the right. Yep, you got the right thing.
All right.
And then look at quarterback first. So there's like a big drop off there.
Huge drop off. Not as big of a drop off at running back, I think, because pretty big drop off. But I think one of these guys should end up being okay. Pirine or Steele.
Okay,
what's that going to look like, Davis?
I think Steele on early downs and any goal line stuff. Pirine on third downs. We'll see if they sign Kareem Hunt or not. They'll call up probably Imani Bailey from the practice squad. They also might call Jerick McKinnon, who I've heard doesn't really want to play, but if he was going to play, it would be for Kansas City. Pretty big drop off here at wide receiver, although I would suggest Ray McLeod and KJ Osborne are probably a little under projected. And then, as expected, giant drop off at tight end.
Right. So it's going to be interesting where like you're going to have like different rushes on different scarce positions like happening at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see
Let me
happens.
tell you, if you get owned at quarterback here, feels like your expected value is nil. Oh, I got to build rankings. Mahomes, Bijan, Kelsey. Okay. Primetime Palooza. Let's do it. We're in. No, I don't think so. Well, maybe, I don't know. They didn't seem that enthused about Deneric Prince, to be honest.
Oh, we got the one. I'm gonna be really curious to see which position is most advantageous from an EV perspective. I mean, it really depends.
It seems like every position, honestly, like literally, it seems like every position has its own argument to be, because I'm sure that's what happens a lot in these bifurcated slates where one of the games is good, one of the games is bad, and one of the bad teams is really bad for fantasy. Like the Jets are kind of okay for fantasy, but the Patriots are dog shit for fantasy.
Yeah.
Does it want us to take Mahomes first, or?
Well, I haven't even started it yet. Let's start the draft.
Well, we drew the 101, so we can't. Let's not lose this EV.
Let's see what it says. Oh, that's interesting.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh my God! It wants Travis Kelce first. That is fun.
It kind of makes sense.
That is fun. We'll see if it's good.
And there's no ADP for this, huh?
Nope. Well,
No
I mean,
ADP. The ADP's in your mind, brother.
It's in your mind, bro.
So I guess we probably, when you draw the 101, you get the edge at tight end, but then you have to eat Jacoby Brissett.
Well, I think there's another effect too, where it's like when you take Kelce, you're putting pressure on people who want Mahomes to take them, and then if they do, then you're like a pick ahead somewhere else. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you're stranding someone else with Tyler Conklin.
Yeah.
You know.
I also don't know if it'll change his mind about Kelce first if I run this longer, because I just started running. To be fair, we'll see.
I mean, maybe we're just drafting. Okay, Mahomes goes 4.
Okay. I'm still cooking it as we're drafting also, so it's hopefully getting a little.
Man, I wonder if picking at 4 is the move.
Uh-huh.
Picking at 4 feels nice.
Yeah, especially when there's scarcity at all positions.
At all positions.
Getting to react to everybody else does seem like it should
Seems like this guy's an auto drafter, so that's something to remember. So he does Mahomes and Rice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna guess that it wants us to take either Garrett Wilson or Drake London, and then Ramondre.
We'll see.
Do you think it'll like Drake May's 4th round, like it did Jordan Love?
If it's Drake May, we'd take him here, but Jacoby Brissett, brother.
No, it's saying just take P Ryan. It's gonna have you take the next 2 running backs. Is what it's gonna do.
Okay, I'm not gonna take P Ryan.
Okay, take the other one because you're not taking both.
Yeah.
Okay, so take Ramondre. And given that you took Ramondre, it desperately wants you to also take P Ryan. But if you don't do that,
that's got to be wrong. That's P Ryan over Worthy with the scarcity has got to. I mean, what does Cardi have? What does Cardi have P Ryan projected for? $1 billion?
Let me see.
He's got him projected for like 13 points. I know it. I know Derek Cardi, and I know that's what this man has.
Yeah, if you don't do that, it wants it's pretty flat.
I took Worthy. Okay. I took Worthy.
All right.
Let me look this up because I am assuming what is happening here is Cardi just put Pirine in for Pacheco's points, more or less.
So we
I
can
can't even
adjust that and start it up again if you like. That's pretty easy for me to do.
I'm pulling up the Thursday to Monday slate right now to see
Okay.
if I can find it. Chiefs. Yeah, Cardi has Pirine for 15.71 points.
There you
I mean,
go.
it's just not
So
not rational.
Let's just adjust that. So what do you want me to give it?
Give Steele 6 points and Pirine 8.5 points.
8.5 and 6. Okay. I'm gonna stop this sim and let you finish it out. Because it's going to
now the people are going to get to see how redacted my brain really is, because now I'm just completely flying blind in a theory fest without having thought about this at all.
So Ryan 8.5 and then
16 points seems a touch high, and
I had 14 when I downloaded, but still, that's a lot.
It's not. He's not actually projecting Pirine for 16. He literally, I'm sure, just deleted Pacheco and moved everyone up a notch or whatever.
And Steele,
I don't know.
6? You want 6?
Now, oh shit! I was gonna say if Cousins was there, I would. Now, I wonder if it wants me to take Rodgers or just wait for Brissett.
Well, it's not running anymore, I don't think.
I know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah.
I am going to. You know what? No, I'm going to take Rodgers, and then I'm going to take Mike Williams, and I will take Braylon Allen, Antonio Gibson at the end.
Shocking.
So for the new build at running back, I have Hall at 17.3, Robinson 16.2, Stevenson 12.7, Pirine 8.5, and
Carson Steele
6. Close enough? These are FanDuel points. They're not underdog points, but as long as they're correct relatively to each other, it should be close. All right. Yeah, that's going to completely change the strategy, obviously, because when it was counting
on getting those free. I mean, come on, 16 free points. Why not, brother?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like slam it. You have to take this. That was the whole point of us.
Yeah. Now, definitely. It's so funny. Like, obviously, slate knowers, like theory knowers, have such an advantage in this, because you can just dead your team. You can send your team to 0 cents of EV, like immediately with one mistake. But the ball knowers have such an edge with the final round picks, because, like, famously, last time we did this, it was like, oh, just take Bateman, just take Bateman, just take Bateman, just take Bateman. And it's like, well, actually, if we would have just taken Isaiah Likely, we had the shipper. I'm going Braylon here. Okay. Let's go back in. All right, are we reloaded, Dan?
Let me look and make sure this looks sane here. Yeah, we are reloaded, and I think you're good to go. Launch. Let's see what stupid thing it does next. Yep.
No, it wasn't stupid. It just didn't know. It was functioning.
No, I know.
It was functioning as intended.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was.
We are in.
Yep. These cook pretty quickly, so like even the time that it takes for like the draft to kick off, it will be mostly done. Okay, you got the 3 now.
Okay. I'm gonna guess it wants me to take Pat if it is possible.
If available.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at my ADPs, which are still moving, but it has. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Rice, Hall, Robinson.
Dan, do you know how this tool could gain an additional edge? Is if it had a functionality to store the drafts that you were doing, because there is no ADP for these available. You could store the ADP and know on average where players were going in a way that the field would not have access to.
Yeah, I thought of that as well. Could be good to have, especially.
How many people are using Draft Caddy to draft these small slates? Probably not many.
I assume I'm literally the only one, probably. And I'm not even, I don't have enough hours in the day. I'm not even drafting the small slates. I'm only drafting main slate. I got in 225 drafts in the main slate last week.
Woo! That is impressive. Okay, Mahomes goes 1. That doesn't feel good to me. But I don't have anything to back it up yet. We'll see.
Okay. Mahomes goes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess it wants me to take Kelsey then.
I'm not sure if it'll do it immediately, or we'll see. I'm going to predict it goes somewhere else first, and then takes Kelsey if I'm not taken. But okay, it's going. So it wants to go running back here.
Say less.
Yep, Robinson it likes a lot. It thinks you're already doing very well, which makes me think one of the other picks.
All right, producer, update the live EV earnings in the corner. Move me up to we've had one confirmed $10 team, one confirmed $40 team. We're fucking printing EV.
Okay, went Hall and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
So now it likes Drake London and Ramondre Stevenson are battling it out for EV right now. They're close to each other. Ramondre and Drake.
I'm gonna. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna do Ramondre.
All right, those came out pretty close.
Who's it got? Ramondre?
Yeah, it was. Oh, and then Kelsey made an appearance.
I was gonna say that my intuition was that
all three of them were up there. It was popping around, so it's probably thinks it's a mixed strategy there between the three of them, or close enough to one. It doesn't love your spot right now. It doesn't love your EV at the moment, but we'll see what people do.
The chat's talking about Davis's ADP comment. There's 2 different ADPs we're talking about. Dan's talking about an equilibrium ADP that his tool is generating based on if everyone was playing optimally, what would their ADPs be? Davis is talking about storing your data, your CSVs and such, whatever you can grab, and then coming up with some ADP guess. It wouldn't be 100% accurate, of course, unless you had everyone's draft, which you can't. So just so people don't get it twisted.
Oh, you got Mahomes, Worthy, and Kelsey together. Wow.
Yeah, that's a start right there.
Feels like a killer start.
Yeah, I think the one hole has what's first place in this? He's got all that EV right now.
We'll figure it out later. It wants Kyle Pitts now. With Kirk Cousins.
God, it really doesn't know ball. The computer really doesn't know ball. The computer was not watching the game last night.
Oh, and then it wants Alan Lazard. It's got to be another one of these mixy things.
Jesus Christ.
The
computer telling me to take Kyle Pitts.
Who's next? Cousins?
Okay, so Carson Steele is an interesting pick there. Yeah, now it wants Cousins. Yeah, it wants Cousins now.
I feel like we might have saved this team. I was not feeling that good about it, but
so I think you got bailed out by the person who picked 4th here.
It feels like Carson Steele was a bad pick.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, what do I know? I'm just doing what I'm doing. Yeah. I fear the Sims are not accounting for Pitt's lack of dog in him.
Yeah, I can't wait to run the numbers on the guy drafting first. Feels like he's just printing in this one. But we'll see. I mean, he's screwed at running back, right? So how much is that costing him?
That is true, because he didn't take. You could actually argue that maybe in his spot, Pirine was the better pick.
I'm totally wrong. It hates his team
because he doesn't have any running back points.
Because he got screwed on running back. Yeah, it thinks his team is worth less than $1.
Ouch.
So I think you might end up with the best team out of everybody here.
Well, you should most times. You think?
Can you scroll down just a little bit? Thank you. No, there's lots of times where I use my stuff and I just get screwed. I mean, it happens all the time. It's so dependent on what the other players are doing. So now has Lazard.
Yeah, I can answer that that no ball question, Davis. The answer is no, right? From Alex.
Which one?
This one.
Should I trade David Montgomery for Swift? No, don't trade anything for DeAndre Swift. Trade DeAndre Swift for a vacuum cleaner or something.
So it's worth pointing out that Cardi has Lazard significantly higher than Demario Douglas there.
I think that's wrong, but I'm just letting the computer tell me what to do.
It has it like he has him like a couple point, 2.5.
My I know ball was Mike Williams should be projected for more than Lazard, and KJ Osborne should probably be projected for more than both.
So someone said we gave the one seat the nuts. I don't think so, because it's hard to win there with like basically no running back points. It could happen, but I don't think it's. I thought so too when I first looked at it.
He had a good start.
He had a really good start, but then
who doesn't want me to take now?
Sorry,
I wasn't paying attention either.
Where are we?
I have KJ Osborne in.
Well, you're taking Osborne.
That's fine. So it went Lazard to Mario.
You definitely don't want. I feel like you definitely don't want Lazard and Mike Williams together.
Yeah, Osborne was correct. Was right up there with Williams. So it likes your team a good bit, and it actually likes player 2's team, depending on which tight end he takes. But it hates the other two teams. Absolutely hates them. And if we look at projections according to Cardi, you could see why. So according to what I have with our adjusted running back, you and the player to your left have right around 68, 69 points, and the other two are right around 55. So that's, I mean, projection's not everything, but that's like a big delta.
And these no ADP drafts using Cardi or anyone like reasonable is going to be such a big edge.
Right. So that you did well there. It thought you had. What did it think you have?
Update the counter. Update the counter. Update the counter.
A lot less.
I thought you had $20. I thought you had $20 in that one.
A lot less overruling from Davis this week. His trust.
Well, then all the comments. Here's the thing: all the comments are Davis doesn't know shit. He always overrides the projections. He always overrides the Sims. I don't think, obviously no disrespect to Dan, I don't think the Sims are in a perfect place to just unquestionably click them.
No.
Therefore, I'm not doing that. I got to admit, I do very much like the bric method of just drafting I know ball teams.
Yeah, but it's using the tool. It's still using the tool. I was really just doing that to point out the bias that we all have on ADP, and also the effect of someone else's projections influencing what any sim will say, contest sim, equilibrium sim, anything.
Yep.
And so like it's like exhibit A right here. Just make something up based on ADP, and you're going to draft teams. People are going to draft teams they like.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to do now? Another prime time. Back to the main. What do you guys want? Brian, you got to leave.
I got to leave, but I'll do one more quick one.
Okay. Let's do another prime time.
All right.
These drafts go so fast. It's pretty sweet.
It is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I wonder what it's going to say this time for the one. So
I hope it says Patrick Mahomes. Personally,
I don't
actually after doing a couple of these, I think it should say Bijan probably. Actually, Bijan or Brees.
Let me look at the overall. Wow. Why does it? That's weird. Wow. Okay. We'll just see. I'm not going to say anything yet. I am going to let it cook a lot now, so I'm starting it now, so it'll get like a full 30 seconds and then more if we want.
Let's see if you could do better on the one down one. Oh, is this no, this is the Thursday, Friday, right? Yeah.
Thursday, Sunday, yeah.
Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's cooking. Oh, wow. It likes rice?
It did that last time and took a second.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense that rice will pop fast early because
it likes rice a lot.
It likes them?
A lot more than the other choices. It just assumes it's getting screwed. I don't know why. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let it ride.
Let's see what it does.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
I'll
don't
let it
love
ride.
it intuitively. It scares me.
Well, maybe it might be like it because then other people are less likely to take them home, so you get them back or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, just do what it says.
We'll see. Maybe it kicks off a war for Kansas City players, and then there's stuff left. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think that's what it's going to do. I think we.
I don't think so either.
I think we just gave the room some EV, but it is
maybe
it's a good tool, but sharpening the blade is the way to really cut with it. I agree. I think we. I mean, I can't speak for you guys. I feel like we've learned a lot about the game mechanics of these just from throwing the sim tool into real drafts where we are against real opponents.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another point is it's equilibrium strategy, not a contest sim strategy. So it's assuming your opponents are making similar decisions.
Right. So does he just go?
I think this fella Chris, I believe, is auto drafting, and I think he is just hoovering up the EV that we are leaving to the room. I think we are donating some to the Church of Chris here.
It does not love his spot right now, honestly. Let's see if I have this entered correctly. Yeah. Kelsey, yeah. Garrett Wilson. Okay. Yeah. It really likes the guy who just drafted ZV.
I'm guessing it wants us to take Cousins in London.
It's saying it's hard to reason because it's saying it wants P Ryan as one of your picks.
Even at 8.5?
Even at 8.5?
Yep.
Interesting.
Because you might not get another chance at him, I think.
All right, we took P Ryan.
And then the next thing is the interesting one. Now it wants London. It wants Drake. Yeah. Yep.
Is your standard deviation updated with the 8.5 as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Although it's a little janky because it's going to be slightly off because it's not underdog points.
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming. So it's going
I
to be
actually kind of like that.
It's going to overestimate. Well, yeah,
we kind of want that. I did a video on that on EndGame actually. I think that could be a pretty good strategy sometimes, but
just to ramp up
so taking double tight end in this slate specifically does probably send someone's EV to literal 0 to Noah Gray City.
But you're in contest with how many entries, Davis? Thousands.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how many, 25,000, I think. Maybe, something like
25,000.
that.
You also have to take into account that. So his EV calculating is versus all 10,000 or whatever the field is, too. But yeah, you might be able to tank the guy next to you. That's true.
I've actually done that by accident in a couple of these where like for a while there, it was sort of a missed move that a lot of people weren't doing double tight end in a certain spot. And then I felt really bad. My software was just cramming it, and like the guy to your left is just like hosed if he didn't have a tight end at that point. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like the blackjack thing, except it actually.
This guy has done double tight end now. So he's got Mahomes, Kelsey, Pitts, right? And do I have that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
If he's auto drafting, why doesn't he just have it turned on then?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is also running Sims, and we are simming past each other.
Feel like that's unlikely. I have a feeling we're like the only people doing this. Maybe one other dude.
All right. So now it wants McLeod and Cousins.
That's actually, I think we're cooking here.
Yeah, you have a good lineup according to.
I was gonna say, look, I think low key, this might be the best team we did. This seems good.
Yeah, it does not hate it. We'll see when it comes back around, what it thinks.
Yeah, and we are the thing that the chat doesn't know and that the Sims don't know is that Noah Gray is actually going to get a goal line rush for the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming week against the Falcons, and he's going to be the skeleton key to how you win.
Wow.
It feels like taking Hunter Henry was a mistake there, but I have to think about that.
Were you, Brian, did you watch the swolecast earlier?
No, I didn't. What?
They played a live ad read in the middle of the show, like inserted a video for Taylor Swift tickets in the middle of the show. It was one of the funniest moments in the history of the show. I just saw a comment about it in Discord or in Slack, and I cannot get over how funny it was.
A lot. Someone had to read it?
No, like literally an inserted video. So funny.
And
like
then
a
just
literal,
cuts you guys
like,
off and does a Taylor Swift ad.
Just cuts us off. Just where Pete and I are in the middle of doing a bit. Cuts us off. So good. So good.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you might have done reasonably well. We'll see.
I am reasonably confident that this team will be the best team that I have in this contest because I'm probably not going to draft anymore in this contest unless I have the guidance of the nerdy Sims. This feels like a contest I would be incapable of winning without a computer. I can't. I just wouldn't be able to keep it straight enough.
The less data you have, the way more value an equilibrium sim increases,
Exactly.
in my opinion.
Exactly.
So stuff like this is perfect for.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have this guy draft Osborne so I can start computing yours.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it loves your lineup. Loves it.
Is that with Gray as his last pick?
It's with Gray, yeah.
You could take him, David.
Yeah.
Noah Gray.
Yeah, it just thinks you crushed on.
Yeah, I was gonna say EV for this team, $37.
Ooh, it's at $34.86.
Golly, man.
Wow.
Very close.
What's the buy-in?
Golly.
$10. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Holy crap.
Now, why might it think that? Let's see.
Because it thinks Samaje Perine is a good player when in fact he might be a bad player.
I mean, you projected pretty well. You've got, double stack with Cousins. Yeah, it might be highly projected and not super owned according to the sim.
The Sims did. I will say, the Sims did. I think very well last week. I think they were very directionally accurate. If you'd applied some nuance to the Sims, because Alvin Kamara was projected about 0.8 points worse than Ramondre Stevenson. Like imagine a world where Cardi opens up his computer on a Wednesday and gives Alvin Kamara 0.1 more points than Stevenson. we spend the entire stream drafting Alvin Kamara. Imagine people are treating us like gods, Dan. they're coming in the stream being like, you're the smartest men alive. No one has ever known more ball than Dan and Brian and Davis. It's just that.
Well, we are. Just be doing it for the wrong reason. That's all.
Correct. All right, Brian, you're getting out of here.
Yeah. Are you guys done, or are you going to keep going?
I got a little bit more time. You want to do one more main BR, Dan, then we can get out of here?
I don't have it up anymore.
Okay, so then let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
All right.
We can get out of here. I got some stuff to do anyway. All right, everyone. We'll be back again at some point next week for EndGame Syndicate on the EndGame Syndicate YouTube. If you want the draft caddy that was showing those cool tools while we were drafting, you can find that at endgamesyndicate.com/draftcaddy. There's a link to purchase that in the description of this, wherever you are listening or watching. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to Brian. I will be back tomorrow drafting the literal opposite of this. So this was drafting with Dan's computer and Brian's thoughts. Tomorrow I'll be drafting Battle Royales with Liam. There will be no computers involved. There will be no computers or math to be found anywhere. And I'll see y'all then.